is now the base for my upcoming Eggman Land 2.
What a joke!
I am Dr. Eggman, your new genius overlord. Get a load of this!
I'm so proud of you, Feikle. Proud enough to give you your first daddy hug.
Wow. Both hands?
You're welcome. That should hold you over for another 30 years.
Since we're bonding, I've been meaning to talk to you about your treatment of the aliens.
How about instead I give you a promotion? This is my bullshit meter. Your job is to keep it under level. Oh, hell no!
You're putting me in charge of the bullshit meter? What an honor. But again, Dad, we really need to talk about aliens.
This places a message in part of a system of messages. Pay attention to it. Sending this message was important to us. We considered ourselves to be a powerful culture. This place is not a place of honor. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing valued is here. What is here was dangerous and repulsive to us. This message is a warning about danger. The danger is in a particular location. It increases towards the center. The center of danger is here, of a particular size and shape, and below us. The danger is still present in your time as it was in ours. The danger is to the body and it can kill. The form of the danger is an emanation of energy. The danger is unleashed only if you substantially disturb this place physically. This place is best shunned and left uninhabited.
Uh-oh, Feikle. You just took us to bullshit level. Don't make me take off my goddamn belt.
You know, sometimes I wonder why I even bother sometimes. I can't even give Death Battle any amount of praise because whenever I do, they immediately turn around and do something stupid. I swear, it's like they can't help themselves. And I don't get it at all when it comes to these stupid decisions. But with that being said, welcome back to another episode of Terrible Death Battle Ideas. And sadly, I'm talking about one that has actually been confirmed. And we are going to be getting Godzilla versus the Hulk. Now, I've always been aware of this matchup on some level, but I never really took it all that seriously up until I found out that Death Battle was actually going to be doing it, and I'm like, okay, really? Are you fucking kidding me? First off, let's get the obvious thing out of the way first before we even begin talking about the matchup itself. We already had Hulk on the show twice. Similar to the Miles Morales Deku situation, why are we already getting Deku and Miles back? And why are we getting Hulk back? Godzilla, I guess, kind of makes sense because we haven't seen Godzilla in years. I think when they did the Godzilla episode, if I remember correctly, I was still in high school at the time. So Godzilla, I can kind of understand maybe bringing him back, but Hulk, they just brought him back. Like, what was it, back in I think 2021 or 2022, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but they had Hulk versus Broly, which was one of the big, long requested death battles involving Hulk. And that's not enough? Now, I don't know whether to blame the fans for this because they're never satisfied, or Death Battle because they just can't help but to self-sabotage themselves. I swear, sometimes I have to ask myself if Death Battle are just a bunch of masochists that like it whenever I have to take off my belt, or like it whenever a fan base just completely, utterly destroys them whenever they piss that fan base off. Seriously, Death Battle, what are we doing here? Why are we getting Hulk back? You already did Hulk vs. Doomsday, that pissed a lot of people off, and then you did Hulk vs. Broly, I'm guessing to try to appease the people that you pissed off, and then you pissed off the Dragon Ball Z fans. Again. Now, I know that Death Battle gets off on pissing off the DBZ fans, but come on, Death Battle. Every time you try to do the Hulk, you piss somebody off, and most likely you're going to do the same thing here, because I imagine here you're just going to piss off the Godzilla fans, because I could be wrong on this, but I have a hard time believing that Godzilla fans were asking for this. And if you are a Godzilla fan and you're watching this video, please leave in the comment section, were you at all thinking to yourself, oh man, when Godzilla comes back, I want to see him fight Hulk? Yeah, I somehow am willing to doubt that, because I'm willing to bet you probably wanted Godzilla to fight another kaiju or maybe an SCP or something like that. I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really doubt that this is one that the Godzilla fans were just dying to see. And now, let's get into the actual matchup itself, and I really hope I don't have to explain into too great of detail why this is a stupid idea. Let's get the obvious thing out of the way first. Hulk is very small, and Godzilla is very big. I know this is a very complicated concept to understand, so I'll try to dumb it down as much as I can.
The people are safe. It's all that matters.
We're fulfilling the prophecy.
I hate this prophecy.
So do I, but we have no choice. Surtur destroys Asgard, he destroys Hellas so that our people may live. But we need to let him finish the job, otherwise... No. Don't stop, you moron!
Hulk, stop! Just for once in your life, don't smash!
Big monster!
Let's go!
Fine.
But, yeah, how is this exactly gonna work, Death Battle? How are these two gonna be able to fight each other when one is very, very small compared to the other who is very, very large? Now, I have been made aware of the fact that Hulk is capable of changing his size. Sure, I guess, to what extent he can change his size, I do not know. I tried to get further information on this, and the link I clicked on just decided to fuck up, so I said screw it. But, honestly, even if Hulk can change his size and become the size of a kaiju, that hardly fixes anything. Because there's way more problems with this death battle than whether or not Hulk would even be able to fight Godzilla, because Godzilla is too big and he's very small. Now, another thing we gotta get out of the way is this. Hulk can literally absorb gamma radiation, and it also doesn't affect him. In fact, if anything, it makes him stronger. And Godzilla's whole thing is firing radiation at people, so how is this gonna work? Sure, Godzilla can also absorb gamma radiation, but so can Hulk. So what, are these two just gonna keep absorbing gamma radiation until the other one just drops dead or something? Seriously, how is that gonna work? Because the moment Godzilla tries to use his atomic breath, it's only gonna supercharge the Hulk. So how is this gonna work exactly? Like, my brain is already starting to fry trying to make sense of this stupidity. This is what I've talked about time and time again with why it's a bad idea to put two characters that have the exact same power against each other, because both of these characters can absorb gamma radiation. So, what the fuck? Godzilla won't even be able to make use of his main ability, which is his atomic breath, so that's already out the window. And even if Hulk tried to use gamma radiation against Godzilla, the same rule applies there. He'll just absorb it and fire it right back, and it might as well be two dipshits holding mirrors firing a laser at each other. Nothing is going to get accomplished here. And we also got two characters that are pretty much impossible to destroy through physical force, especially in regards to Hulk. So what's going to happen is Godzilla just going to step on Hulk like a bug, and then Hulk's going to try to get back up only to get stepped on again. The only scenario in which I can understand this fight ending is in some kind of stalemate. Now, I will say this much though, you might not know this if you don't read the comic books, but Hulk actually has a laundry list of different abilities ranging from ice manipulation, all kinds of gadgets that can create holograms and illusions, to resurrection, regeneration, and all kinds of other crazy-ass abilities. And if you're somebody who thinks that Hulk's only 3 powers are he's very strong, he becomes more powerful the more angry he gets, and that he has regeneration, well, I got news for you. Hulk has a stupidly long laundry list of different abilities. Now, maybe Godzilla has the same thing, but all I've ever seen of Godzilla is that he's very big, he's very strong, and he can fire an atomic breath. So it's very likely that unless Godzilla has other powers I'm not aware of, Godzilla definitely holds a massive disadvantage when it comes to variety in powers. Like, Hulk has just way too many abilities that could potentially change the fight in his favor, but all that does is turn this from a potential stalemate to a stomp matchup. So once again, no matter how you look at this fight, it's just terrible. Everything falls apart the moment you ask even the most basic questions. But let's get another thing out of the way. What the fuck is even the logic behind this matchup? Godzilla versus Hulk. Why? Is it because they're both monsters that were created from radiation? If so, that's a pretty lame reason to have these two fight each other, because that's literally just a mirror matchup. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'm starting to get sick and tired of it, but how many times do I have to explain that mirror matchups don't work? And it is made even worse when you have a mirror matchup involving two characters that basically have the exact same fucking powers. How many times do I have to prove why this is a bad idea? Because these mirror matchups, they always end the exact same way. It's either a stalemate that goes on forever, or it's a stomp matchup in which one character clearly has the advantage over the other. Now, don't get me wrong. On one hand, I can understand why Death Battle would do these stupid matchups, because I know in regards to the fans, some of them just don't know any better, or they don't put any thought into anything other than, oh my god, wouldn't it be cool if Hulk and Godzilla fought each other? But looking at it from Death Battle's point of view, why would they want to do these god-awful mirror matchups? Well, that's because they're easy. Because like I said, these characters usually will have the ability to screw over the other. Natsu versus Ace being a perfect example of this. You don't even have to worry about power scaling each character, or you can just half-ass it, because at the end of the day, Ace can turn into fire, and Natsu can literally absorb and eat fire, so basically there's nothing Ace can ever do to actually kill Natsu, thus it's very easy to do, and creates a whole lot less work for the Death Battle crew. And that's very likely what's being done here. This is most likely just laziness on Death Battle's part, because this is a matchup in which things could be very simplified for them, because, oh, well, Hulk potentially has the ability to fuck over Godzilla, or Godzilla likely has the ability to easily fuck over Hulk, and they don't actually have to put a lot of effort into anything, and could potentially just hide behind the animators, who would most likely make some pretty animation to distract the fans from the otherwise garbage matchup. And this is very likely why Death Battle does these matchups, because we know Death Battle really doesn't care if a character gets screwed over or is put at a massive disadvantage. As I've talked about in my previous videos, Death Battle actually doesn't mind pissing off fan bases, because Death Battle has mastered the art of rage baiting, and believe me, they are very good at it. So really, either way here, they either get a bunch of pissed off Hulk fans, or they get a bunch of pissed off Godzilla fans. Now, given how much of a long-time customer the Marvel fans have been of Death Battle, there's a chance that whether Hulk wins or loses, it's a win for Death Battle because they're either going to get a bunch of happy Hulk fans that are going to tell all the Marvel fans to go watch it, or they're going to get a bunch of pissed off Hulk fans that are going to make a bunch of videos and tell everybody in the comic book community, and then they're all going to rage watch the episode. Either way, Death Battle wins. They're basically put in a situation where they can't lose unless, again, people are made aware of the fact what Death Battle is trying to do here. From my point of view, this is a stupid matchup, and I don't know why anybody would even ever consider this. This is what I keep talking about when I say Death Battle needs quality control, because as we are going to go deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole together, you will quickly see just how nonsensical these matchups become. And if you think I'm at all being too harsh on Death Battle or even the Death Battle community, just wait until we continue on with this series, because believe me, it gets so much worse. I've seen some matchups that just really make me question my sanity. And in regards to this matchup, I'm not looking forward to it. I think this episode is most likely going to blow. Oh, well, how can you judge something you haven't watched yet? Well, because I'm able to pick up on patterns, and I've been reviewing Death Battle for a long time. But also, guess what? Like a lot of other Death Battles, I'm most likely going to end up watching it and reviewing it all the same. But I'm going to be going into it expecting it to suck. But hey, Death Battle's been potentially turning over a new leaf, so maybe they'll at least make something decent out of it, like Spawn vs. Ghost Rider, where they took a god-awful matchup and actually made some kind of pleasant surprise out of it. Don't get me wrong, the research was god-awful and the results were crap and they got the guy wrong, and the way in which they tried to explain why the other guy won was absolutely pathetic, and the fight wouldn't actually play out that way. In fact, Ghost Rider should have completely stomped and steamrolled Spawn, but that's a conversation for another day. And that is very likely what is going to happen here. One of these guys is just going to steamroll the other. At least that's how it should happen. And again, I still really don't understand how they're going to make a fight between Godzilla and Hulk work. I guess if you give Hulk his laundry list of powers and they use a version of Godzilla that has a bunch of different abilities, maybe that could work. But even then, I still don't think that this is going to be good in any way. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of these mirror matchups, because how many times can I make the same arguments over and over and over and over and over and over and over again before people realize that these matches are terrible? And it's not that Death Battle or the Death Battle fans ever disprove me with these matchups, because whenever they do it, the result is always the same. And I think Killua versus Makoto Misaka is the perfect epitome as to why these matches don't work, and I'm hoping that the low view count on that Death Battle is maybe potentially a sign that people are getting burnt out from these matchups and are as sick of these matchups as I am. Once again, people, it's not that hard to come up with a good or decent Death Battle matchup. I literally broke it down into 4 simple steps. This isn't that difficult. Just follow my 4 steps and that's all you have to do. Worst case scenario, you'll at least get a decent episode at worst, and at best, you'll get a god tier episode that will be remembered for years to come. You don't have to keep doing this crap of just, oh, let's take 2 characters and have them fight each other based on surface level similarities, or, well, these characters have the same exact personality or power, so have them fight. And yes, I am already aware of the fact that there are people like Fan War and others that try to claim that similarities actually make a fight better, but as I've proven time and time again, that's not the case. Killua and Makoto Misaka both being manipulators of electricity did not make that fight better, nor did it stop it from being an absolute humiliating curb stomp. It didn't save Natsu versus Ace, and it's not going to save this one. And I'm just so sick and tired of the community that just doesn't care. And they're just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if these two characters fought each other because they have the same power? It's so freaking tiresome. Once again, I know I use this clip a lot, and it has basically become my catchphrase at this point. And if anybody's ever getting sick of me using this clip, well, here's all I have to say to that. Just cut the fucking insanity. Enough is enough.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, 'cause we need a little controversy, 'cause it feels so empty without me. I said this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, 'cause we need a little controversy, 'cause it feels so empty without me. But no matter how many fish in the sea, it'll be so empty without me. Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me,